up, everybody? My name's UkeKooki, and welcome back for more Burrows! The wet mud squelches under my paws as I make my way through the unpaved streets of the Ninth Ward. I hold my shoes in my free hand, careful to keep them clean. Oh, wait, I already had this. I can skip! When God decides to take a piss where you're standing, there's not much to be done about it. Oh, no, it looks too rowdy. Okay. I glanced at the letter hanging from the ribbon holding the bundle together, unopened and practically turned to pulp. What in the hell am I doing holding on to this? Suddenly, I noticed a red light in the distance setting itself apart from the sea of orange ghastly lanterns. I feel drawn to it like a moth to a flame. But I'm not concerned with danger right now. I make a beeline for it, spotting a trash can on the corner. I dumped the bouquet uncriminiously and walk up to the building. The sign's fully visible now. A simple rendition of a wine glass and the word bar underneath, uncreative but honest. Better yet, I don't hear the cacophony typically of a fully occupied club. Not even music. Okay. There are tables for billiards and poker in the back and cigarette dispensers lining the walls. Tending the bar is a tall, portly rabbit wearing a well-tailored suit. He hums to himself while drying some freshly washed glasses. He'd be totally remarkable. Okay. Anything I can get you, sir? He starts shuffling around behind the counter, and I take a better look at him now that I'm up close. He's husky, for sure, but there's power underneath that cage of fluff. I could tell from the way he effortlessly shuffles bottlenecks through his fingers as if they weighed nothing. I imagine it simply can't fit the job in this part of town. I take a slow step, letting the alcohol linger in my tongue for a few seconds before I gulp it down. After the tingling in my throat subsides, I relax my shoulders, feeling calm for the first time in days, maybe weeks. I'm sure Simon will be mostly confused. Ian will be angry. Neither will believe it. No telling what John will say. Either way, they'll probably try looking for me right away. I'm going to head east, find some tall trees well away from the roads. Okay, oh, fragments. Fragments? What fragments? The hell are you talking about? What is this? What was that? What is this? There's a timeline? Holy crap! What the short is this? June 1905, Sam was born. 1904, Simon was born. 1903, Gray was born. 1902, Idion was born. Whoa. Gray meets Virgil at the 1920s. And then, what's this? 1965, Gray meets Mark in New York. Woohoo! Until the 1990s? Interesting. I remember that he lost. Tails. Judge the bidding of a man like you. Wait, if he said heads, is he gonna be a top? Interesting. He reaches under his collar and pulls out a blank playing card. He slides it across the counter to me, grinning coyly. He keeps it pressed down in front of me for an uncomfortable long time, almost as if to make sure I know it's not a normal card. I get up and head for the door. Even though I want to leave, I feel a sinking pit in my stomach, like something awful is waiting for me on the other side. I've already made up my mind. There's no point in pussyfooting around this. I march towards the door defiantly. I suddenly feel the intense glare of a predator burning in my blind spot. Virgil? Goodbye, Gray! Oh no! God damn! I'm naked again! Woo! I'm naked in space! Holy crap! I'm naked in space! I brace for what has to be certain death as the ground pulls up faster and faster, but... whoa! It looked as pristine and welcoming as it did when we were kids. The sudden rush of stimuli after feeling frozen for so long makes me tear up with emotions. I wish we could have played here, not just the other plantation kids. Idion, Simone, maybe even John if we had known him then. Everyone deserves to experience this. I walk towards... okay, I'm still on guard despite everything. I crouch at the tall grass, hoping it's enough to conceal my presence. Unfortunately, a blade of grass finds its way up my nose and I sneeze. Achoo! Loud achoo! A moment passes and I poke my head out to see 4 figures casually walking towards me. A well-dressed canine in glasses, carefully stepping around the flowers. Okay. We move over and sit down. The shark plopping down hard enough to cause a puff of flower petals to shoot out behind it like psh. The wolf starts to laugh and we all follow suit as the bashful shark smiles with a grin. His teeth will be intimidating if they belong to anyone else, but I could feel his kindness radiating out of every pore. Every pore? Pore of his body? He looks just as confused as the rest of us, so I doubt it. I glance over at Ken. A decent-sized pile of ripped grass is next to him as he notices my gaze and stares daggers back. Ah, here we go. I glance over at the others and feel relieved seeing them rub their own glossy eyes. Gabriel is practically sobbing, making no attempt to conceal his emotions. Ken is more insistent on sniffling and riding it away as a bout of hay fever. But at this point, I've come to accept his stoicism as him. Okay, I inch closer and see 3 rectangles lying in front of me. They're cards. What the fuck? Oh no! You're gonna make me choose? Really? I pick each one up and turn them over, examining the intricate art. They're pictures of Mark, Gabriel, and Ken. Interesting. Suddenly I feel the same warmth in my pocket again and pull out another card. The one Virgil gave me? I had entirely forgotten about it until now. It's almost hot at this point, radiating light and vibrating in my hand as if it were about to burst. I hold up, oh, a silver card! I hold it up to the other cards. They're the same size and shape, albeit Virgil's card was blank. Choose one. Choose one? What? What? Only one? Yes. That isn't fair. Isn't there another way? Oh no! Don't tell me. So basically, in this type of game, you can only choose one for the entire route, and then so on and so forth. Is that it? I think this is Mark. So let's do him, because I know there's some continuation about his story. I sigh and grab Mark's card, saying a silent prayer for the other 3. Other 3? What other 3? There's only 2. I take a deep breath and do whatever these mysterious forces obviously want me to do. I play this card next to Virgil's together in my hand. Immediately they start to glow and vibrate. I throw out my other hand to try and keep them from falling, but soon the light envelops everything around me. And I'm falling! Falling! Ugh, my body is floating again. And as aimlessly as before, feels like I'm being guided in a specific direction this time. I glance around this new space. It's an empty gray expanse of swirling mist. The air is humid as if it just finished raining. Though there was no ground in this place, strange pillars stretch into the sky from below. As I drift past one, I see it's actually a tower of intricately stacked stones, one over the other, all the same size and shape. A cairn! A cairn! What's a cairn? Why do I know that word? I must be going crazy! The speed intensifies and I brace for impact again, expecting the same weightless feeling and... It's cold. Ow. It's bad enough I landed in my butt, but did the ground have to be freezing? I pick myself up and see that I'm covered in snow. Snow! Not the cute powdery kind. Instead, it's the chunky frozen kind that sticks to your clothes like icy glue. Holy crap! A loud car horn snaps me into focus, and I find myself in front of a massive department store, surrounded by even bigger buildings. I dust myself off and glance at the store's display window. The gold lettering reads, Stacy's Herald Square. Wait. I've heard of this place before, but it's in... Am I in New York? Like, effing New York? New York! Sunday! I spin around and I'm taken aback at the myriad of shining jewel-like lights that dot the skyline in front of me, stretching out into what feels like infinity. People hurry past me wearing colorful winter clothing. I feel severely underdressed. Who's talking to me? Who are you people? The designs of the clothing are much sleeker than what I was used to seeing. The odd catalog Simon left around the house. And again, the collars! They almost looked like adults' clothes, especially with how form-fitting everything was. I knew New York was a fashion capital, but some of these women were running around with their legs on full display. Even with stockings on, aren't they cold? The next thing to grab my attention are the gigantic buildings in the distance, stretching even higher than the skyscraper in Chicago father told me about. The Adams and LaSalle. LaSalle? These somber coffins of glasses and men practically reach into the clouds. Almost like those stone towers I saw earlier. Cards. I wonder if the people who work in them ever feel nauseous. Or if they can feel the building sway when it's windy. The idea of it makes my stomach drop and I crouch down, feeling like I wanted to vomit again. Every now and then someone would shoot me a worried glance. Some even scowled. Eventually they all pressed on, forgetting me as soon as they saw me. I shouldn't be offended. I don't even know these people, but it still hurts a little. Who are you people? Am I going crazy? That's how bad did I look. I walked back out the display window to take a better look, but something was wrong. What the F? Why can't I see myself? Was this some kind of special glass? No, I can see everything behind me just fine. My heart starts to race. Am I a vampire? Holy crap! I'm a vampire! A possum-pire? I press my nose to the glass. I walk into it until my eyes practically cross. I stare a hole into where the reflection of my eyes should be. Nothing. Nothing! I sink down on my knees, barely noticing the stinging snow under me. People behind me walk through where my head should be. I must look crazy. Am I them? I see more things that don't make sense but pass by in the window's reflection. Models of cars sleeker than anything in even my father's garage. Christmas songs I've never even heard of reverberating out of open store windows. A woman in a skirt, too short to even be considered a slip, walking with a man who slips $1 between her exposed cleavage. This isn't it right? I shouldn't be here. My right-wing mind can't comprehend. My conservatism is out of bounds. But I really don't feel like moving anymore. I'm too scared by whatever waiting for me in this strange place. Too many variables. The metal vent I'm kneeling on is starting to cut into my shin. The snow is starting to soak through my clothes and I notice I'm violently shivering. It's the middle of winter in New York and I'm out here in slacks and a ruddy shirt with no shoes. I know exactly why nobody's bothering to get near me. I don't blame them. Tomorrow's obituary. Unidentified vagrant possum found frozen to death outside shopping center. Nobody from home's going to find me this far east. What do I care? I was about to hang myself on the nearest tree, remember? I'm gonna... the nearest tree, remember? This was supposed to happen in one way or another. My fingers and toes are numb. I can barely move. I don't know what to do. I don't. The yellow cab pulls up behind me. Holy crap! Stopping right between where my eyes should be reflected. I wipe my nose and I blink back into consciousness. I can sort of hear a conversation back there. The driver is saying something to the passenger. A laugh. Some coins are dropped and easily picked up. Then I see him step out. Mark! Mark! Oh, hi, Mark! 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 Certainly him! Same suit, same shockingly long legs, same smile, and glasses. He bumps his head, getting out of the cab, and chuckles to himself before slamming the door behind him. He swings his briefcase over his shoulder and starts heading towards me, whistling Carol of the Bells to himself. I perk up, both happy to see him and also extremely confused. Is this real? I was all that about before. I wince as I turn my body around to watch him. That numb feeling in my fingers becoming a slow burn. Watching him approach, I look for any glimmer of recognition in his eyes. He walks a few feet past me and heads straight for the front door. Ha 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 ha, of course. It's exactly like I thought. I'm the one who doesn't belong here. Mark looks like he's doing fine. Why should I bother him? And the question is, why are you both in limbo? He slowly reaches for the brass handle. Very slowly. I notice he is looking at me. Or rather, stealing quick glances at me before he thought I'd notice. Well, I look like... but that much is obvious. Everyone else avoided me like the plague. A minute passes and it's still not managed to open that door. Was it heavy or something? Was the knob too cold? I shoot him a confused glance. He stares back and looks away flustered. Does he recognize me after all? It looks like he made up his mind this time. He swings the door open with one hand and confidently striking a pose as if he's about to stride. But he looks at me again with those worn, gentle eyes. His shoulders droop and he lets the door swing close again. He mutters something to himself. almost argumentative. You have no idea what's going on, but I blink and he's in front of me. I reflexively flinch and fall on my back. It must be those legs. Ah, those freaking sexy legs! He cleared that distance in less than a second. Gently drops his briefcase on the ground next to his feet and bends down, reaching a paw out to me. Ah! Hey, do you need some help, man? It's bad out here. I could almost cry. Until Mark. Of course he'd help me, even if we'd never met. I must have let my emotions show because his hand drops a bit in surprise. He chuckles and pushes his glasses back up his snout with his other hand. Yeah, maybe something to eat. Someplace warm. I know a spot not far from here, Jimbo. I take his hand and he pulls me to my feet. I brush the snow off myself and try to come up with something not crazy to reply with. Yes, thanks. Yes, I could really use that right now. I avoid addressing him by name as that will definitely freak him out. We didn't meet for long, but even during that time, he was surprisingly tight-lipped about his personal life. Guess we'll have to redo most of the formalities if this is going to feel organic. Are you sure that this is okay? Me going with you? I mean... I hold my jaw to stop my teeth from chattering. He's already turned to walk away, beckoning for me to follow. Huh? Of course! Anybody that has a problem with it will have a problem with me. He pauses before spinning around and gives me a serious look. Dear, whatever your reasons, nobody deserves to live like that. Yep, he thinks I'm a bum. Well, I am out here, be doing my best bum impression, so I can't be too annoyed. I'll be like, change! You got change! Oh, come on! It's not like I can explain how I really end up here. I'll need to think of an alibi in this walk. I really don't want him to think poorly of me. He navigates the winding city streets, nimbly dodging oncoming pedestrians and hopping over potholes like some intricate dance he'd perfected. Those legs, those sexy, sexy legs. Right, an alibi. By the way, your legs! How long are those legs? Can those legs be... Wait a minute, is he a type of fox that has long legs? Maybe I hopped on a freight train wanting to see the world and got lost here. Or perhaps my wife kicked me out after a big fight and I'm still looking for a place to... Find me some legs! He jumped off for dog poop. Ew, dog poop without even looking. Wow. 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 Whose poop is that? If there are dogs in this world, whose poop is that? So if I use that one, I'll need some names. I'm sure Christine wouldn't mind. Christine? We fought because she's seeing another man. And we're here. Shit! I look up and see a little hole in the wall shop. Caravan Cafe. A sign has a motif of a little black cat and a romantic get-up brewing coffee. I promise the coffee is better than the name. Come on! Right. A little bell jingles overhead as we walk in. I'm immediately hit by the smell of cigarette smoke mingling with coffee beans. The warmth from just opening the door brings feeling back into my face and Mark tugs at my sleeve. My regular table's further in. We squeeze past the narrow tables towards the back. The place is mostly occupied by teenagers reading poetry and doing homework. I even see a few jittery college-age kids with a worrying amount of empty cups littering their table. We eventually arrive at a little white table in the back corner. Bindley leaves hang down from rows of planters mounted on the wall. There's a dirty mirror decorated with a colorful tile border where a window would be with it if this was in such a tiny place. Compared to the chaotic facade, this part of the store is actually pretty quiet. I'm surprised none of them picked this table to study. It's nice back here. Mark's ears twitch and he glances excitedly at me. I realize it's the most casual I've sounded so far. Yeah, well, I suspect it's because they get a better service up front. One man's treasure, right? I nod and sit down, and they slowly sit down! I nod and sit down, feeling the off-putting sensation of my wet ass against rubber for the second time today. He waves to someone behind me as an older female squirrel walks up with some menus and water. Single pieces of paper encased in plastic and not a single English word on them. Before I can ask anything, she's already darted back to the counter to greet some more kids walking in. More chuckles and slides and slides his menu to the side, likely having a regular order over here already. He looks at me expectantly. So, how... Mark. Name's Mark. I smell a little... I smell a little... Yeah, I smell a little... I smile a little, wondering how long he'd been waiting to use that line. At least I don't have to keep pretending not to know it. Right. Well met. I tell him my name is in return. He nods and we shake hands, happy to have successfully completed the first hurdle of conversation. I twiddle my thumbs, trying to think of something to say. He notices my fidgeting and places a hand over mine. Hey, it's okay if you don't want to talk about yourself yet. Are you sure? Of course. Nobody chooses to reside on the streets. I'm sure it was out of your control. That's pretty presumptuous, but I know he means well. He leans back in his seat, brushing a stray palm frond off of his face. And even if it was your fault, we all deserve a second chance, especially this time of year. I remember the music I heard earlier and assume it's still December. Christmas. It's gotta be Christmas. Yeah! Christmas is always my favorite time of the year, too. Mark looks at me puzzled, his long ears perking up. Afraid you're a day late for that one, Gray. I force an awkward laugh and look at the side. Wow, how long was I out there? Must have lost track of time. Ha 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 ha. He looks more annoyed than confused now. New Year's then? He sighs and adjusts his color. Phew! You had me worried for a second. That's on me, though. I should have considered you wouldn't have a way to keep dates. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. You're good. Honest. Though, if I'm being honest, I'd rather talk about anything else right now, if that's alright. As if on cue, the waitress comes back to take orders. This is obviously the last stop on her route, as she hadn't checked on us in at least 5 minutes. I realize I haven't even looked at the menu yet. She taps her pen on her notepad impatiently. You two need more time? Sorry. I look at Mark and he picks up on my naivete. We'll have 2 cappuccinos. Swell. I'll have those coming by in a few. She trots away, her fluffy tail obscuring most of her body. I say in relief and thank Mark for doing me a solid. I've never been to an Italian-style cafe before. Are cappuccinos good? It's a little more bitter than French coffee, but you wouldn't notice until you're an aficionado. I'm definitely no expert. I think of all the sugary French press coffee we get at the bakeries back home, usually with warm beignets. Warm beignets dripping in honey and a bag of donuts to take home. Oh, I'm sorry. My stomach was talking to me. What is it? Can you repeat that? Yeah, maybe we should get some pastries along with those drinks. Do you want some pie? I blush, though I was probably already pretty red from being nearly frozen to death. Not a bad idea. So, Mark? Tell me more about yourself. Not fair to have all the questions be aimed at me, is it? Is it? It may have been a little bold, but I'll say anything to get the attention off me. Fair enough. Well, I'm actually an archivist at the museum. Ever been to the MoMA? No. I'm still fairly new around here. Like 10 minutes new. So, you work in the arts? It's a very sophisticated field, and you definitely look the part. I gesture out to his outfit, and he shoots me a wink. Comes with the job. Although I guess sophisticated depends on your point of view. Art is pretty subjective. A lot of contemporary works are considered, challenging by our older patrons. Personally, I want to see our galleries focus on what has the attention of the masses right now, not what wowed them over 50 years ago. The new generations are standing at the precipice of the next cultural zeitgeist. Frankly, things haven't been this exciting in the art world for ages. And the music stopped. His amber eyes are sparkling. I can tell this is something he's really passionate about. It's really cute, especially for such a big guy. Yes, I agree. Art is what we make of it is so natural. It will change as culture evolves. I remember seeing a piece by Duchamp that I tried to wrap my head around for almost an hour. I don't think I ever really got it, but it left an impression. He cocks his head to the side, still smiling with furrowed brows. Duchamp, eh? He was revolutionary for certain, but that's not exactly modern. Right now, it's all about Liechtenstein and Warhol, you know. The stuff they do downtown is completely outrageous, but that's what's so great about it. Huh? But that painting was in a recent exhibition, huh? At least when I saw it in Philadelphia. That couldn't be. I wouldn't have heard about a Duchamp exhibit even if it were in Vienna, let alone Philly. I'm losing control of the narrative. I need to change the subject, but it's keeping him engaged. That feeling of something being off is rearing its ugly head again. Again, as if on cue, the waitress plops down 2 steaming cups between us and tosses some sugar packets at me. I sure turn an awkward thumbs up. Ignoring the blatant aggression. She seems satisfied with this and walks back to her station, swatting me with her tail as she turns. Ooh. Mark grimaces at her before turning his attention to the drinks, gleefully grabbing one and lapping at the foam like a puppy who hasn't learned to take sips yet. It's alright. She can be a real card some days. I don't think it's you she's mad at. I shrug and look at the cappuccino. It's pale. Is it all foam? I smile at Mark as I bring the cup to my lips, not wanting to appear ungrateful for the free food. I take a sip. Is there gonna happen like an explosion of flavor? Like the background will change to black and then a swirly thing's gonna happen? No? I quickly tear open a sugar packet and stir it in, but it still got a vile, burnt flavor. My disgust must be apparent because I hear Mark giggling. I sigh and give up, pushing the cup away. Hey, it's fine. If you don't like it, we can order something else. I know you don't get treated like this often, so I'd rather you get something you actually like. Thanks. Really. Maybe just a muffin or something. You don't need to go all out for me. Please, what could that have cost? $1? $1? Mark looks surprised, and I know I've said something weird again. Maybe I don't drink the fanciest imported brands, but I've never paid more than 10 cents for a cup of Joe. Everything I've heard about New York is true. They're freaking rich. How do these people live? Hey, are you sure you're alright? I hastily nod, about to offer another excuse when I catch stray fragments of a conversation by the front counter. The same surly waitress is yelling into the phone while angrily flipping through some papers. No! I said the poster should read Rain in 66 with Caravan Cafe, not Minivan Cafe. What the hell is a minivan cafe anyway? Does that make sense to you? Man, what a bitch. Wait, 66? There's no way this place has been open 66 years with service this bad. So that means... Hey, am I going deaf from her screeching, or did she just say 66? Huh, yeah, right. Hard to believe how fast this year flew by. Can't say it was a great year for me, so I'm good riddance to 1965 as far as I'm concerned. It's the music! The room feels like it's closing in. I'm 37 years in the future? I imagine what my friends must look like now. If they're all still alive. My parents are probably dead. That quiet notion that was gnawing away at me is loud and clear now. How are people supposed to respond in this situation? Strangely, I don't feel much of anything. It's probably a normal trauma response. This is fine. I can deal with this later when whatever this is over. Gray! I snapped to attention. You went quiet on me, buddy. What's wrong? Gray, whatever it is, you can tell me. Ooh, okay, sige. If I tell you the truth, what's gonna happen? I can't keep up this charade forever. It will be fair to him. I take a deep breath and tell him everything. About Virgil and that nightmare bar. About meeting him and everyone else in that beautiful place. About magically traveling to New York by means I don't fully understand myself. And then Mark's like, good thing I got a hobo who's also crazy. I talk for what feels like an hour, not breaking eye contact so he knows I'm being serious. He doesn't interrupt me the entire time. Occasionally he'd nod or take a sip of water. I can't read his face. Finally I finish and lean back in my seat. There's nothing else I can do now. Mark gulps down the rest of his coffee before speaking it up. That's certainly a lot to go through in one night. You must be so tired. So, you believe me then? He leans forward, looking at me intently. It's not so much that I believe everything you told me, but your feelings are real, and that's important. And if what you said is true, you've had a hell of a day. I'm stunned. At best, I expected him to write me off as another lunatic roaming the streets, chalk this up to a failed experiment in charity, and bid me a farewell. But he's taking this way better than I expected. I feel a little less crazy. I mean, this is real, right? We're sitting here talking and eating, right? There's an explanation for this, but there's someone and I'll find it. Mark takes my silence as a cue to stand up and pat me on the head before turning to head out of the shop. We walk back out, and I went to the cold air hitting my snout. It's only 6, but the sun's completely set. I see it stop snowing and I sigh with relief. Mark chuckles and walks to the curb, sticking out a thumb. Don't worry, I wasn't planning on leaving you out here again. Huh? He successfully waves down a taxi and gestures for me to come over. You can stay with me for a couple of days. I have tomorrow off already. Maybe I can give you a little tour of the city. This day keeps getting more and more surreal. Regardless of how sketchy this will be in normal circumstances, I'm not above staying at a stranger's house, especially if the alternative is staying out here. That sounds fun. I'll be delighted. I'm not even lying. Apart from all of the weird going on, spending a day sightseeing with Mark sounds incredible. Ah, that's right. Me and Mr. Longlegs having fun on a tour together. I duck into the cab and he follows suit. He has to slouch so his head isn't poking into the roof, but he's probably used to it at this point. The cab is merciful and spares us this chit-chat, Mark only having to give him an occasional comment about directions. We ride silently for a while, the fallen snow muting the cacophony of the city around us. For the first time in what feels like ages, I feel things are finally calm. I feel Mark gently place a hand on my thigh. I shoot him a smile, reciprocating by linking arms and placing my hand over his. Oh, everything is so crazy. Oh, there's a taxi scene! They added more, okay? Someone's shaking my shoulder. I feel drool on my chin. Did I fall asleep? Something about long car rides always put me in a trance. I crack open my eyes. Mark's still rocking me awake. Time to get out, sleepyhead. Sorry. Guess I'm more worn out than I thought. We shuffle out of the cab and back into the chilly air. It's evening now and the streetlights are blazing. So, this is your place, huh? Well, it's not much. I'm staring at a luxurious looking high-rise apartment building. There must be at least 30 floors. Mark chuckles and pats me on the back. Come on, let's get you out inside. I nod and follow him down the cobblestone path into the lobby. Ooh! I step inside as expected. It's an upscale place with a sign-in sheet and lobby attendant. There's an Art Deco theme that wouldn't seem that out of place in my own time. Mark heads over to sign us in and make a small talk with a woman. I wander over to some tiny trees planted in the bed of little stones. I instinctively take one and roll it around in my hands. It's smooth and cool and fantastic. I try to imitate the way Virgil rolls coins across his knuckles, but it's too big. I feel a hand on my back again and almost drop it. See something you like? Ah! Well, no, I guess. It's something I like to do when I visit a new place. Like a keepsake? Sort of. It's something my grandmother used to do. She had all kinds of strange habits. There was always a reasoning behind them. You need to acquaint yourself with the land first so it's friendly. After all, you're about to trample on it, yeah, ain't you? Better knock first. I slide the rock into my pocket and follow him over to the elevator. Of all the technological advancements I've seen so far, this is the one I've been the most curious about. There's no way an elevator operator would want to ride up and down these huge buildings all day, right? The brass doors open and it's empty. Satisfied with my correct guess, I march in and lean against the wall. Mark presses the button for the top floor and the doors close automatically. I eagerly anticipate what the rest of this place looks like as we ascend. Ooh! Interesting! We arrive and step out into the hallway. It's lined with some inoffensive landscape portraits and a few plants here and there. I follow Mark down the hall and to the last door, 35E. I try not to think about how high we were. Keys jingle and he leads me inside. Welcome to Casa de Mark. Casa de Mark. Welcome. Enter. Enter. Somehow this is even more out there than I anticipated. Odd paintings of every shape and size hang on the walls. Sculptures of figures that don't even begin to approach standard anatomy are strategically placed in the corners of the living room. Tribal mats are hung over the fireplace with tiny hand-painted figurines on the mantel. I turn to look at Mark and he's practically beaming. Well, what do you think? I've been slowly buying my favorites from our collection for a few years now. If I didn't know he worked at a museum, my second guess would be a thief or a schizophrenic. It's unique. It's definitely you. Uh-huh. And that's what's that really mean? This is all pretty beyond me, sorry. If you explain some of it to me, I'll be able to appreciate it more. He nods and points at the nearest painting to me. It's an extremely abstract piece with splatters of green and purple paint. There's a single drip of yellow down the center and little black scribbles of humanoid figures that seem placed randomly. That was done by a young bovine man down in the village. We did a little showcase of local talent a few years back. I believe the contrasting colors and manic energy of the piece represents a social unrest caused by the poor species relations in our supposed modern society. What's the yellow represent? I think a janitor was using it as a table after the exhibition closed. That's probably mustard. Ouch. Guess Mark saw something in it that nobody else did. I search around for another one and see a small paintball of a fox with green fur and cut out a newspaper clipping where his feature should be. And this one? No, that's a good eye. That's actually a vintage piece from the Dadae movement. The absurdity of the image is a direct response to the pointlessness of war. This was probably done by a small group of rebel artists trying desperately to transpose their feelings about the First World War. First? There were more? I'm gonna have to find a history book at some point and catch up. Yeesh. Okay, and what's with the big white one behind you? I point at the huge blank canvas that makes up most of the west wall. Mark hunches over, searching for something before painting at the bottom corner. I squint and see a little signature in pencil. Henry Gerber. Isn't it great? Sure. He laughs and stops to wipe his glasses on his sweater before explaining. It's a blank canvas signed by an unknown. I found it at the flea market 7 years ago and have to have it. You see, I have no idea who this person is now, but who knows? In a few years, it might be a household name, taking the art world by storm. So when that day comes, I'll be the proud owner of an original Henry Gerber. I can't help but smile. His endless optimism is charming. I take a seat on the couch and pat the cushion next to me. Without hesitation, he cozies up next to me, clearly happy to finally stretch his legs. It's all impressive, there's no doubt about it, but I'd be happy whether you live here in the shack. Mark slides his loafers off and props his paws on the ottoman. I hear a few joints pop as he yawns and stretches, slyly placing an arm around me. Anything beats New York in winter, but this is probably better than a shack. No, it definitely is. Decorations aside, this place was immaculate. Not a speck of dust or item out of place. It doesn't feel lived in at all. And I appreciate a tidy housemaid. My old roommates were slobs. Probably not a great idea to put out the magnifying glass back to me. But I'm feeling more comfortable now. I'll bet. I don't really spend much time here. Truth be told, you're actually the first guest I've had here. Seriously? I'd be showing this place off every chance I got. What about your friends? His expression often softens and he looks down. Well, when you put it that way, I guess I don't have many of those. I feel like an ass for bringing it up. I get how someone as outgoing and friendly as Mark could be a loner. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, that was a normal thing to ask. I hear it all the time at work. I'm used to people worrying about me. It doesn't bother me. I lean into him. Whatever apprehension he had with that arm behind me is gone, and he gently hangs it around my neck. Oh! Oh. That's the first sign. If tomorrow goes well and I can find a way to pay you back for all of this, I wouldn't mind being friends. Really? Are you sure? Are you gonna be my friend with benefits? You've been nice to me all day. You plan on stopping anytime soon? He pulls me in a little tighter. No, I don't. Good. We stayed there for a while just listening to the sounds of the city and the ticking of a clock, and all of a sudden... Eventually Mark yawns and we start to get ready for bed. I opt to take the couch despite his protests. I assure him I'll sleep just fine and he turns off the lights. Okay, here's the horror scene now. I'm wiped. My concept of linear time has completely gone out the window. But I knew that my body and mind were at its limit. I pulled the sheet he supplied over me and tried to relax. But my mind is still racing. There were so many things I can't explain. And Virgil, that horrifying thing that chased me. I shudder. Let's think about something more pleasant, shall we? Mark is very pleasant. He'd be the picture next to the word pleasant in an encyclopedia. And very cute. Is he into me? Am I gay? Are people still in the closet in the future? He got awfully close earlier, and he smelled really good. I feel something in my trousers staring and trying to change the subject before I get too horned up. What's wrong, my dude? Having a little tent down there? Apparently, you like what the fuck say. Ding, 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 ding. What are my friends doing now? Are they still in New Orleans? Did they ever stop looking for me? Did my family care? These thoughts aren't helping. I'm too tired for this. I focus on the ticking of the clock. I count the rhythm in my mind. Oh, here we go! I stare out of a deep rest. What happened? Alright, this is Mark's place. It's still dark, so I couldn't have been more than an hour since I fell asleep. I slowly open my eyes. I check the clock on the wall. Oh no! A sudden flash of light blurs my vision, and I rub my weary eyes. The TV. That's what Mark called it. The TV? Why was it on now? I sit up and that's when I see it. Mark is here staring at me apparently in his shirt. I almost fall off the couch. Mark? What are you? Oh, hi, Mark. Something wrong? He doesn't say anything. He just smiles at me. Menacingly! His eyes look blank. Was he sleepwalking? Mark? Suddenly, the TV starts playing a recording. Everyone ready to reign in the new year? The ball is coming down. 5 seconds left, and now, count with me. What the hell? Hey Mark, what? Whoa! Oh no. No. I fall to the floor. Everything is wet. It smells like iron, blood. What the F is what? What's that? I can't bring myself to look at it. I hear something dripping slowly. The carpet is sticky like a syrup and stained beyond recognition. This isn't real. This can't be fucking real! I fumble around, still covering my eyes, and touch something solid and squishy. It's the texture of ground beef. It's something awful flashes through my mind, and I rip my hand away. My stomach turns and I retch violently onto the floor. The light flooding into the room as a harsh red, and I feel my head starting to throb. I tried to get up, but slip on the horrible mess of everything, and bang! My chin on the edge of the couch! Or the awful wet texture all over the front of me can't fully register. I pull myself up again. Adrenaline's kicking in. Everything else, I need to get out of here! I weakly stumble over to the door and try to undo the locks. My hands are shaking and slick with blood. I struggle with the chain a few times before I just yank the door open. No time to worry about a broken chain. Nothing about this is fixable anyway. I sprint into the hallway. My socks are completely soaked and I completely pull them off and toss them to the side. I can't risk falling again. Everything here is distorted and uneven. The canvas of the paintings have rotted away. I head towards the elevator, but something has grown over the doors. Something organic. It's pulsing. It's delicious. No time. I look to the left and see a sign. Rooftop access. I need to go outside. Something is happening. I sail up the short winding staircase and burst out onto the roof. The sky is red. Stormy clouds are swirling in pillars at the distance. There are strange vine-like structures stretching into the sky from random points. The city's skyline isn't right. Buildings are in the wrong places. I cautiously walk over to the edge and walk into the streets below. Chaos! People are moving strangely anxiously, running on all fours. Feral! Hanging off streetlights and wrecking cars. I smell smoke! I hear gunshots echo between buildings up further downtown. I'm trapped! I lean against the guardrail and slide down to the floor. I can't do this anymore! I feel heavy. The panic is fading and is soon replaced by apathy. I lay there for a while. I stare. I must have blacked out again. Oh, wait a minute. You blacked out and then you woke up in this hellhole? Whoa! I never seen that one before. I'm still here? I sigh and I curl up into a ball. Helpless. I feel helpless. It's a god-awful feeling knowing you can't do anything. I can't help but feel I'm being toyed with again and again. Is this my punishment? For what? Wanting to kill myself? Would that have satisfied you? Why are you shedding innocent blood just to with me? Whoever is doing this to me must be enjoying themselves. Virgil, that lunatic, just like me to get suckered in by a pretty face. You think I'm pretty? My whole body shudders on the vibration of a booming voice coming from above. I feel my brain rattling in my skull. My teeth feel like they're about to shake loose and I clench my jaw. I peek out over my shoulder just enough to see two massive yellow orbs in the sky, staring down at me like searchlights. It blinks. Oh god! That's it! I'm over my limit. My brain is going to pop. Oh, sorry guys! I will go... Something is leaking out of my ears, and my tongue feels swollen. I think I'm sinking into the floor. Oh, it's morning. I'm laying in a soft bed. The window is slightly open, and the curtains slowly ebb and flow. Sunlight dances across the ceiling. I hear the noises of morning traffic. I hear soft snoring. Mark is here. Of course. It was just a nightmare. I'm here with Mark. I'm safe. He's safe. Nothing bad is going to happen. I turn over and look at the bloody hole where Mark's face should be. What? It should be triggering me to scream and push myself out of the bed. No! God damn it! I tried so hard not to see it. I pulled down some of the sheets and buried my face in them. Go away! No! Gray? Is that you? He pokes his head over the edge and looks down at me. He has a face again. Thank God. Is everything all right? I heard a scream. You're okay. I'm okay. I'm in my pants. I have pink nipples. Of course I'm okay. I'm asking about you. Right. Sorry. I wipe away the tears and snot and sit on the bed. Mark's rubbing my back and making shushing sounds to calm me down. I ask how I got into this bed and he says I was uncomfortable on the couch and crawled in here at some point during the night. Huh? I don't know how plausible that is. Did you sleepwalk, my dude? But I'm just glad to be here next time again. Now, what happened? Bad dream? That's oversimplifying things, but I nod. I'm just glad you're okay. I was really scared. I was all alone. Hey, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. I promise. Promise. Pinky swear. Cross my heart and all whatever. All the rest. We interlock pinkies and I choke out a giggle. I feel like I'm being babied, but I don't mind it. I panic easily and that was one of the worst nightmares of my life. I swear if anything happens to this man, I'll hunt Virgil down and rip his goddamn head off. Whatever you are, if you're still out there, curse you, Virgil! Consider this a challenge. Monday! I splash some cold water on my face to help me wake up. I instinctively go to check my face in the mirror, only to be met with an empty reflection. Guess I should get used to that. I hope I don't look like a complete mess if it does help my alibi. Although Mark was pretty nice to me, but even before I cleaned up. Since sight isn't going to help, let's go with the next best thing. I'll take a whiff under my arms. Ooh! Nothing too egregious. Possums are naturally always a little musky, so it's hard to tell how I came off to other species. Maybe Mark's into that? Oh yeah, maybe Mark's into that. Oh, you'll never know. Maybe our sexy long legs. I'm actually into musky possums. I mean, he's a posh guy, sure, but maybe he likes to get dirty on the side. This is New York. Who knows what the rich get up to here? I grabbed my shirt from the drying rack and inspect it. Mark was nice enough to let me run it through the washer overnight. I probably need to borrow some heavier clothing if we're going to be outside all day. Can't help but feel like a charity case. At some point I'll have to find a way to pay him back for all of this. I mean, people never sat right by me. That's why I left home in the first place. But in the end, all I did was hurt more people. Coffee's on! Coming! Alright, game time. Here we go! Today is going to be great. I throw on my shirt and make my way to the common area. Mark's sitting on the couch reading the paper, 2 steaming cups seated on the coffee table. He leans down to grab one and grins as he sees me. Feeling better? I made sure to brew a French roast for you. Threw plenty of sugar cubes in there to boot. I smile and take a seat. The intoxicating smell of freshly brewed coffee is waking me up more than the cold water did. I take a nice big sip. This is really, really good coffee. I'm glad you approve. I ordered these from a small shop in the village, and they ordered it from a small cafe in Paris. Who I guess orders it from Colombia, huh? Talk about a roundabout way to get a cup of joe. At least it's sweet this time. He nods and sets the newspaper down to stretch, complete with a big dopey canine yawn. He hasn't changed out of his robe. I can get a good look at his body now that I've calmed down. Your gait is showing, dude! I can't believe how dense his fur is. It's soft but still kind of shaggy, with tufts curling up in thick patches all over his chest and stomach. Not bad musculature for a man his age either, though I'm only guessing he looks maybe 32, 33, maybe. His clothes must be custom tailored to fit him perfectly, or I would have noticed his cute little belly sooner. Idion was cut like marble, but I've always been a sucker for more average body types. I always joke that once I learned how to cook, I fatten him up into the perfect chunky lapdog. Luckily for him, I can't cook worth a damn. When I'm done ogling, I realize I've been staring for a while and look up to see Mark staring back. He laughs awkwardly. See something strange? Yeah, your nice furry belly. Oh, No, I mean, yes, maybe. Oh. You saw me, did you? Your body, it's very red. I'm not great at flirting to begin with, but that was definitely not my best work. Yes, very observant, Mr. Gray. Don't patronize me. I want to kill myself again. Honestly, it's so red, I get mistaken for a fox all the time. I always have to show them the mane to prove I'm part of the canine club. Huh? Honestly, I've never met a maned wolf. Up until that's a wolf? Honestly, I've never met a maned wolf up until now, and I see the similarities, but I've met enough foxes to know the differences. The number one difference being a fox is abundance of pheromones. Most critters smell something before we see it, and you can obviously tell when a fox is in the mood. Canines have, I already faced pheromones from Chardonnay Romancia, and now they're telling me about more pheromones. Gosh, are foxes just nature's natural hornies? Canines have better control over the chemical side of body language, but can't hide the physical signs very well. I notice Mark's tail is wagging. Do you want to see? Sure. Huh? I'm kind of curious, all things considered. Huh? What are you showing us? What are you showing us? Ooh, look at the bag. Ooh. Oh! Yeah! Oh God! Oh, Jesus! He faces away from me and tucks his robe down, exposing his back. What I thought was just a tuft of dark hair extends all the way down like a mohawk. It trails down his spine to the base of his tail, heading out right above where I imagine his ass is. Can I touch it? Go ahead! I shampooed it and everything. I run my hand down the length of it. It almost feels like a horse's mane. There's substance to it. Since it holds its shape, but my fingers glide through it like a normal hair. I get to the small of his back and stop. What? Well, I did it. I pull away and he lifts his robe back over his shoulders. I did want to see how far it went, but let's not get frisky with a complete stranger just yet, right? Been down that road enough times. Woo! Now you're part of an elite group. Oh? I touched Mark's mane and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. And all of that. We laugh and finish our coffee. He heads to the bedroom to change before we head out. I grab the newspaper, curious as to what's happening in the future. I flip it over to the front page to skim the headlines of the day. Tensions rise as varmint protesters continue to clash with New York PD. The fight for civil rights is seemingly endless. PKI resistance in Indonesia squashed. US backs new order. Number of heroin addicts soar as a drug epidemic spreads to suburbs. Well, that was a bummer. Knowing there was still a special divide made my heart sink. It felt like things are slowly improving back in my time. Steer and Varmints own almost every club and restaurant on our block. Simon was making good money, and it didn't seem like anyone cared that Idian and John associated with us freely. But it was nothing compared to how my family lived. The elected officials were still canine at the end of the day. I have to remember that I'm in a bubble when it comes to this stuff. Possums only get lumped in with rodents for superficial reasons. At the end of the day, we're still better off than most, being sometimes marsupials, sometimes rats, sometimes these, sometimes these. So I don't know which is which. Hell, I've been called a sad hamster before, yet nobody's throwing stones through my window to drive me out of town. And I've had turncoat hissed at me enough time to know how our kind's place in history fits into this crooked institution. I shake off the negative thoughts and take our dirty cups over to the sink. The least I can do while I'm here for free is clean up after myself. Mark's kitchen was small but tidy. The pots and pans hanging on the wall looked like they'd never been used. A thin layer of dust outlining each one confirms my suspicions. Oh well, if I had this kind of money again, it's not like I'd eat my own shitty cooking either. I mean, if I ever cook, if I cook, I need to learn the ways of the master. A chef. Almost ready. You mind if I pick out a coat for you? Okay, nothing too flashy, please. Out of curiosity, I check the fridge. Electric fancy! And pop it open and 3 bottles of beer in a takeout box. Ooh, yep, that's what I expected. Beer in a takeout. Oh, hello, sir. Wow, I love that coat. Can I have it? Mark returns and tosses a dry cleaning bag over the couch. He's wearing a sharp overcoat. I think you'll approve. I zip open the bag, not sure what to expect. We'll see. Huh? It's an Ulster coat. Fine tweed and in black. It wouldn't be out of place in my own time. Mark really does have an eye for fashion. Wow, this is very nice. Right? I thought it looked dashing with your fur color. I have to disagree. I usually avoid dark colors because I hate emphasizing how white my white fur is. I look like some washed out phantom when I wear black. This would look great on brightly colored fur like Mark's though, which is probably why he bought it. Let me try it on before I walk out looking like a kid wearing his dad's coat. Yeah, I'm not that tall. You're a giant, sir. Sir, you're a giant, sir. I slip into it and walk over to the mirror in the foyer. Dude, you look fancy. Somehow, it fits me perfectly. Did he accidentally get the wrong size and forget to return it? Mark whistles at me and I blush a little. Woo! Wow, looking dapper, Mr. Gray. Told you it'd be a good fit. Thanks.
Hello everybody, it's me, Cookie. Thanks for watching the video. But I want to thank my regular and happy cookies for their generous donations to my Patreon. And a super shout out to my super generous thirsty cookies, who are Jamie Levan, Corey Smith, June Kane, Dennis, Francisco Ortiz, Glacier Wolf, J_Choi, Ballistic Gamer, Beru, LL, XX High Finest 96732, Random, Nick Morales, Chris Topper, and Hina. Hugs and kisses to everyone who generously donated and supported the channel. Become a Patreon so you can watch more extra content and unfiltered videos. See you in the next video. Bye-bye!